Hi folks, Dave Schmidt here. It's the morning of April 1st and this is the weekly update. First, I want to say thank you so much for what's been going on in the last couple of weeks. As I've mentioned, in the last month, my email list has more than doubled. You can always go to the website at thesedonaconnection.com and there you can sign up to be on my newsletter list. Also, last week's radio program absolutely blew away the number of listeners that I've had of any program I've ever had when I had Exogen on as the guest. You can really begin to see his professionalness that he has as a background in banking and finance. Well, this week, I'm talking about the delays. Why does this continue to be delayed after delay after delay? Yes, I did say a couple weeks ago that it was underway and it was unfolding. And folks, it is. This is a very fluid process. And the key word there is process. This is not a one-shot deal that all of a sudden it's just going to show up because somebody decides to push a button. There's an orderly process where all this is unfolding. Now, having said those words, unfolding, process, and I did say of specific Monday that it was a probability. I'm amazed how many people put words into my mouth saying that I predicted and I projected and I said it was absolutely going to happen on that day. No, I did not. Don't go putting words into my mouth or into the mouths of others. Folks, understand what we say. I try to be very selective in the words that I'm using. Okay, why the delays? Well, first of all, about 3 weeks ago, I said this is a three-step process. The first was the releasing of the bonds. I talked about that with the Sukarno Trust. I talked about the bonds that are being backed by the gold of the Dragon family. That is done. Those bonds had to be released. It's a process to get all of that money out to its various locations all around the world. The second step is the finishing of the large private contracts. And folks, these are not individual contracts. These are for large groups, predominantly humanitarian aid organizations. These are contracts that are going into the upwards of the 1 billion, 5 billion, 10 billion dinar. They are wanting to take this dinar currency off the street so it won't be such a pandemonium when it goes public. That is still underway. It's a process that is still underway. Then when that is done, then the third step will be the release to the public. Now, some of the questions that people have that says, well, how long is this going to take? I don't have an answer on that. Is this really happening? Yes, it is. Because I know of two people who are currently in the process of large humanitarian aid projects that are being cashed out. And I want to say that keyword process. Understand that, okay? I've also had the opportunity to listen in on a phone conversation with a representative of the person who is handling the transaction. I can't say anything more than that. It's very confidential information. But all I can say is, folks, it's happening. Now, with that note, I had a distinction this week that I guess I would consider it as a badge of honor. I've been put on what is called the Dinar Douchebags blog site as what is called the Dinar Douchebag of the Month. You know, folks, when you step into historic changing events, there's always critics. There's always doubters. There's always those that want to complain, want to criticize, and want to call this a scam. First of all, this can't be a scam because a scam is when you're defrauding people out of money. Folks, nobody forces you or me or anybody else to purchase any dinar or any dong. It's always a matter of choice. Then they say it's a scam because the brokers are getting rich. Give me a break. These brokers are lucky if they make $10 to $12 per transaction. They don't make the profit off of what is happening in these transactions. They would have to be doing thousands and thousands a month to be getting rich off of this. And that just is not happening, folks. The other thing is critics are those who usually are very quick to shoot from the hip and they refuse to do their homework. And I'm going to be very honest. They're lazy. They want to be angry, they want to be mad, because down inside they want to believe that it's too good to be true, and they just won't do their homework. There's always critics in world-changing events. Every major world-changing event has always had somebody who came in and the masses didn't believe it. It was only a very few people who believed in what Jesus was doing when he was on the scene. It was only 3% of the people in America that participated in the American Revolution. And the list goes on and on. It was a small percentage of people that supported Martin Luther King when he went through his transformation of bringing the change to our country here in America. That's just par for the course. I call them the flat world folks. Those are the folks that when Columbus sailed the ocean blue, 100 years later, they still wanted to believe the world was flat. The critics are the flat world folks. Those are the ones that still want to believe the world is flat because they won't do their homework. Enough said on that. I count it a badge of honor to be the Denard douchebag of the month. Now, again, I want to thank you very, very much for all the wonderful emails and the compliments that have come in from the workshop that we had in Dallas-Fort Worth a little over a week ago. The next one coming up, I did say April 26th. I have to change that to April 27th. That date is now locked in. It's in the Philadelphia area. And I'm now tentatively looking at some more as well. I'm tentatively looking at May 10th here in Sedona, my hometown. Then on May 31st in the Chicago area, and then a couple of weeks after that in Southern California. So upcoming workshops, Philadelphia, Sedona, Chicago, and Southern California. I'll be putting out some more details on that in the next couple of days. But folks, remember, this is a process. It's unfolding. We get to trust that it is taking place. I wish I could give you more details. I have to keep very confidential about a lot of this stuff that is taking place. But all I can say is it's happening and it's coming our way. It's right around the corner. How far? I can't say that. But it is in process. Thanks a lot. Look forward to hearing you on the radio program tomorrow night. Okay. Have a great April Fool's Day.